are living in the digital age, aren't we? Right, so in the first segment, it's going to be the funny guys, Danny Grego and Nyarai. And then in the second segment, we're going to go to the more serious stuff with a digital marketer by the name of King Charmaine. And to wrap it all up, we've got Jaden Mawada, who's popularly known as Sax Guru. He also does, the saxophone stuff, and then he also does skits. This is iAfrica with your host, Rugarim Duhani. This is a place where we are creatives. The show presents creatives in their home nations, visiting renowned designers, musicians, architects who are leaving their mark on the young continent. Join me, your host, Rugarim Duhani, as we take a round trip across Africa and get to be inspired, motivated, and future-oriented. iAfrica, celebrating the African story. As I said, I have content creators with me. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, lest I say the wrong names because I know Ziyama's time street. Hello.
I'm murayitiri mangu ri pachitopa rinonzi Gracious Mangei. Then muma street is Danny Grego.
And you are?
Rangu rechitupa ndonzi Nyasha Natasha Usai. And then randozikanwa naro nevanhu vazhinji it's Nyari.
It's Nyari. So what had you guys going into content creation?
Changa chitori, I think chitori chipo changa ndingori nacho inini from my side because ndakatanga kuita kuchikoro secondary and primary secondary. Then from there tazopedza kuchikoro tikazopinda munyika then patakazotanga kutsvagawo kuita nawo.
Inini andambobvira ndakambozviita hangu ndiri kuchikoro kana chi I would always make sure kuti ndatotiza side iroro ndaitongofarira uko kunoimba nekumboita kuti traditional dance umbonojamba jamba chichichi but then zvakazongotanga kuitika ndatokura ndakutoshanda in real life zvisiri zvokuti maskits kana chi nditori that's why ndisitori munhu weTikTok because I'm a shy person. Handitogoni kana kutomira kumberi kwevanhu vakatongodarika 5 I'm done for. Ndakutoshaya mamiriro so.
But when the camera
Pakatongonzi action.
Yes.
Hashem.
Right, so how do you go through the creative process?
What we do, it's like ndoshana na Nyari nerimwe team ndoshana naro. So patino create konene baba it's like tikawirana tokusangana musi Thursday or musi Saturday for shooting. Tenga chitoziva kuti Saturday kuri kuani nani, kuri kuyambi yapi yasone, kuri kuya Chiwa, kuri kuya Lorraine. Saka tinotogara ndatofunga kuti content yandofana create apa inofana kuinclude mbuya yapi yasone, inofana kuinclude Gamo, inofana kuinclude Nyari or comic. Saka tinotoita 3 days uchitofunga kuti tikusangana musi Saturday ndofana kunge ndine something chandinozoshuta nandingi nanenge. Kana chaita ndangowane ka clue ndinobva ndangonyora mutayari ndanyora mutayari then patinozosangana paya ndongodza guys ndine ka story kakadai then we hope each other to make it real kuti nyatsoboda chacho tinozobatsirana taisa patable. Yeah.
Maskits it's something chaunotongofunga even takatogara pana again titori 3 takatodewa ndogona kutotanga kutoseka kuti wonai and then to share guys let's say chakat. So maskits it's not something that you can write, maybe you can record kana ngonyora pa so that panosangana nevamwe you won't forget, but for something like a series or a short film kutonyora pasi we gather ideas and then womanyora ma ideas iyayo. If you want someone to say a specific line and then you write it down pamunenge makushuta we now share chi zvanenge wakanyora scene 1 we are doing ABCD, but for maskits it's just random things zvinhu zvinotongouya makatongogara kudai.
Right, the creativity just flows. Yes. Right, you mentioned short films. Are there any short films that you're working on?
Yeah, we are shooting Yanyari inonzi Nyari takashuta episode 8 nezuro 8. Yeah, so inofana kusvika ku episode 13. Then pane yangu yandiri kushuta isati yane zita takashuta 4 episodes tichazogadzira star racho so ndichazotanga kuiburitsa kana episodes anyara apera kubuda so that vanhu vazoite vazoconfusika singaiti.
Okay.
Anyari kubuda yangu kubuda zvizoite.
Is there money? Is there money behind the skits and the short films that you're putting out?
Okay, that's why we specialize more on YouTube, because muno muzimbabwe Facebook aimonetize saka for mashort films and tumaseries twatinenge tichiita tinotonyanya kuposta on YouTube ndopatinotoanochi masenzi Facebook kutongonodhonzana kuti handei kuyoutube handei kani kuyoutube but for maskits we post kwese kufacebook because maskits tune engagement inenge yakawanda and zvakanakiro kuti it attracts macompanies mabrands vanongochida kuti toda kuitirawo advert taonawo eskit yakadaiwo maybe tikangofunga kuti tikazongoisawo advert yedu paskit iroro zvitogona kusekesa and stuff. That's the main purpose yemaskits kufacebook.
That was our first segment, right? Opening up the show with some comedians to get you laughing. I hope I've set up the pace for you for this particular episode. Danny Gregor and Nyarai talking about the journey as comedians and content creators in this sphere. Stay tuned for the second segment. This is iAfrica. iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel. The focus is on outstanding individuals doing extraordinary things on the African continent. The show presents creatives in their home nations visiting renowned designers, musicians, architects who are leaving their mark on the young continent. Join me, your host, Rugarem Dupani, as we take a round trip across Africa and get to be inspired, motivated, and future-oriented. iAfrica, celebrating the African story. Now we're stepping on over into the second segment where I'm going to be interviewing King Charmaine. Yes, you got that right. It's a female king, and she's taking us into her kingdom in the digital space.
My government is Charmaine Sibusiso Mchanyuka, and I am a content creator. I'm a creative entrepreneur because it encapsulates everything that I do. But the reason for King is it's like double, okay? Yeah. So the first one in carnality is like, you've never heard of a queendom. Right? It's always a kingdom. And because I have intention with what I'm building with my brand, I'm trying to build a kingdom. And so for now, I'm the king of my kingdom until I renounce that title to my husband when he arrives. So so that's why. And then also because I'm a very strong believer in my faith. I'm in love with Jesus Christ. So that's my king. When I say king and I put him before my name, it's because he comes before everything that I do. So yeah. I grew up very fascinated by pop culture in the hype of VH1 and MTV and People magazine. And so I was very fascinated by the international realm of pop culture, and I was like, I want to do that here because I feel like I can do that. So that was what kind of introduced me into that industry. I try my best to create from a place of inspiration and authenticity, so something that I feel inspired by, and I kind of like look at it and map it out in my mind, and then I capture it in visuals, or I put it into words because I'm a writer as well. So I put it into words, I capture it into visuals, or I create an audio about it and I build from that. And then I edit in a way that's bite-sized content because concentration span these days on the internet is not that great. So I try to create bite-sized content that I feel like I would like, because at the end of the day, if no one else likes my content, I like my content. So I create content that I like and then I put it out there. So I make sure that I have a conversation with the client on what their vision is. And with a lot of brands, I've been very blessed that they trust the vision that I have, where I can kind of engage their vision with mine and expand on that. But it's very important to know the vision of the brand that I am creating a narrative for. So I get that, and I put in my own authentic, my organic source into that. And yeah. That's basically the gestation process. Yeah. As monotonous as it may seem, authenticity is very important, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to build an audience, I'm trying to build community. And so for me to have community, I have to be my true authentic self. I have to be as Charmaine as possible. So it's King Charmaine the brand, but like when you come on, you're going to meet Charmaine. And if you resonate with who Charmaine is and you find something that I say that makes you feel seen, I want you to be my community. That's what I work from that space, because those are the people that will come back. Those are the loyal people that will invest further into my brand and invest in the brands that I represent as well. I can absolutely relate, because I had to grow into learning how to monetize my brand in the beginning. So I used to have this blog, and I would have like almost 5,000 international viewers just reading my articles. And I didn't know at that time that every click equates to a certain amount of cents. And when I finally done my research, I was like, I could have made $1,000 from this month of people just clicking on my content. I didn't know that. And so I had to learn about monetization. And when I learned and I had knowledge, when I approach brands or brands approach me, we can discuss the vision, but because I'm investing not just my time and my creativity, but also my finances into my internet and into the apps that I use, I'm very clear about this is how much it's going to cost for what you're asking for. And if you don't want to pay, then we can't work together. So monetization is basically you valuing your brand enough for somebody to see that they need to value you as well. My heart is really for the creative behind content creation, because I cannot give you anything that I'm not. And because that's made up of my soul, that's where creativity really comes from. So it's my mental health, it's my emotional state. I'm a shy person. So yes, so I have to hype myself up before I'm in front of a camera, before I start to take pictures, before I open my mouth and speak. And so there's a lot of mental affirmation that I have to tell myself that I'm capable of doing this, and that I'm deserving of the rewards that come from my work. So before we even get into the creation space where I'm giving it to people, it's the creation space that's inside of me that's more important to me. And when you have that, you can now deal with the things that a lot of content creators deal with, like self-sabotage, imposter syndrome. A lot of people release work that they're not sure about. They're just like, at some point they're like, you know what, perfect is the enemy of good. So if it's good enough, I'm just going to put it out there, you know. Once that's done, then we get to the technical side of things, which apps to use, the technique of how to cut and copy and paste and do all of those things. So there's a lot of work that goes into being a content creator, and I feel like you have to be called to it, because there's social media, everyone's posting online, but not everyone's a content creator, because content creation is essentially telling a story that people want to engage with. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hope you found the second segment inspiring as well as informative, as King Charmaine was sharing not just the business aspect of content creation, but also the personal side in terms of cyberbullying and also the toll that it takes when you're creating content. Stay tuned for the third segment. This is iAfrica. iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel. The focus is on outstanding individuals doing extraordinary things. Who are leaving their mark on the young continent. Join me, your host, Rugarim Dupani, as we take a round trip across Africa and get to be inspired, motivated, and future-oriented. iAfrica, celebrating the African story. Welcome to the third and final segment of iAfrica. In this particular segment, I'm going to have a sax guru. I mean, he's a saxophonist as well as a content creator. Like I said, in this episode, it's all about the content creators. Stay tuned, be inspired with his journey. Can you tell the viewers who is Jaden Mawata?
Jaden Mawata is a guy from Rusape, Ndowakabarirwa Mvengeri Mweya. Ndomakazarom Komana pa General Hospital. Achivazo mvakwarisa pachiya muno Marari. I think anga form 2 Komana. Ndopakazoya kuno. Then ndokuscopa ari panapa anga muno Marari.
Okay.
Sax guru. Yes. Sax guru ndo stari basa. That's my stage name. Kana tichita basa tisiri mu character tirino tisiri normal tichishandisa kuti sax guru. Once we are big tita kushandisa kuti Jaden Bruce Mawata. Yes.
And what is sax guru popular for?
Sax guru is popular for making skits and playing saxophone as well.
A true creative.
Exactly.
Can you tell us about your musical background and how you got started in music?
Okay, I think I started when I was doing my primary level. In Rusapa, I used to play marimba at school, mbira, and those things. Ngoma, nima okunda kuna kompera as well. Time ichifamba takazo pandaka kuno kwara pandakazo enda pa College of Music. Then was learning different things from a saxophone. I was learning piano, dance, and some of the stuff from College of Music. Then later on, I taught myself the saxophone.
So you're self-taught a saxophonist?
Yes.
Wow, that's phenomenal. And how many instruments do you play?
I think I can play piano, saxophone, a bit of guitars, and ngoma, of course. Sure.
You're popularly known as Sax Guru. How was Sax Guru born as a brand?
Sax Guru, honestly, I don't know where this Sax Guru came from. It just started all of a sudden. In fact, I saw someone playing the saxophone, so I was motivated. Then I said to myself, I think I can do better than this person, or I can be near. I can teach. I can also teach someone. A guru is someone just like a teacher. I think I can be able to be a teacher. So let me just use the name Guru, Sax Guru. That's where the Sax Guru came from.
You spoke it into existence, basically.
Exactly.
We've seen an upsurge of the trend of people being serenaded by musicians, particularly saxophonists. How has social media impacted the growth of your brand?
So far, I can say social media has been doing great things for us content creators and musicians, because nowadays there's no one just post on street and stuff. Digital now. You need to go online. Almost everyone got perform. 90% of people are in same. Nisani phone is spread but through digital. So far, so like we have talked to Nico no you Muriko ne Tatango Gerodi Kanada Edor ZBC Kanakuti Pama fly and my billboard only. But so far I changed life. My creators are wonder, including me as well.
Well, looking at how you say that it's changed your life, has it also changed your life monetarily? Because obviously vabereki vanengoda kuziva kuti zvine mari mukati here zvaukungoita uchingocreata content uchiposta pasocial media uchiwasta data, because vabereki vanobva vafunga kuti pane kakuwastwa kedata kanenge karipo. Yeah, so is there any value addition? Because maybe there's someone who's looking at you and they're saying, I would love to follow the path that he has followed.
That's true.
And their parents are fighting them. Yeah.
Okay, what I can say is don't join this art industry. You don't just read a marry. Guess where you go. kana because unogona kudisappointwa kana kubudirira kana kuti unogona kuita so but inini kwandiri it's helping zviri kuita and we are still trying kuti tinyasosvikewo kune vamwe due to our country haisati yamonetizwa saka ufanira kunge uri ahead. You have to know what to do kuti unge uchiwana mari either through my adverts and a lot of things, even my bookings amachambotaura serenading. Those are some of the things that you'll be doing kuti urarame. Saka nyaya social media is just to draw the attention of people kuti vakuzive. That's the idea yekuita maskits and stuff, just to draw the attention of audience.
You, Sax Guru, are a creative in the broad sense of the term. You also create content as a comedian. Can you introduce the viewers to these hilarious characters that you have created that we've also come across on TikTok?
Okay, I think we have this character in one most of the time, which is Ngoni Magwarifa. One of the actor on Dinoisa, Kanati Face and Dino Chinj, and I could try to portray that type of a person. Muno and I angari kokari, like I think my paying guy to Ngoni Magwarifa, Tisha fan. So the name just came and a camera. What if I sing Ngoni Magwarifa? Then munanga kaita say then I had to think kuti character yakaita say angari benzi zvake stereo I think tisakampa futi sevana.
Oh, okay.
Mudaitsa iroro. So ndongoni Magwarifa. Then there is vaguru abo anonyeba iwavo. Hai anonyeba iwavo anonga vachitongoda zvekungonyeba chete nekufadza vanhu anomeka sure kuti nyaya vaichinja inotanga ine musoro yozogumaya kumakumbo.
What challenges have you faced as an artist in our industry?
Right, I can start by saying pambasho notombopererwo content kana kuti unenge ine idea but umboshaya kuti uiapply sei kuti make sense. Then two, you have one chiti you need to make sure kuti wafarira munhu wese, like one inangu handisi munhu anovhaira. I love everyone, but challenge inenge yakuitika ndekuti maybe umwe musi uri kumhanyawo munhu aruda kumhoreswa arikutoda sefu arikutoda sefu kumota mira ndinodai ndimonotore but iwo akanonoka saka enda pauti ndakanonoka womhanya but munhu iye achasara achiti waundivhairira. Saka that's the challenge yatiri chisangana nayo. H2 comment section
The comment section
ndinona ngizodarika post but tazvijaire nangu handicharwadziwi ndinotofara munhu akakomenta. I consider every comment ndoigarira pasi not but muzakutaura izvi arikuda kudii ndoyasonzwisisa because pamwe pacho unongona kusangotarisa kutukwa kwawaitwa because at the end tira kufadza munhu wese. Make sure that uda kufadza munhu wese ndo target kwete kutsamwisa wavo because ito vamwe vanotongodawo following nenyaya yekuda kungopisa vamwe. Saka we will be expecting that to challenge that tichisangana nawo.
Where do you see the arts industry in the next 5 years with the help of social media? Because social media has given you the platform that you have now, and we just want to know how will it help you sustain what you have built now?
Well, I can say it's either ichatotikanganisa kana kuti tichaita zvine musoro nayo depending on how people are going to use it. In the next 5 years atizivi kuti munhu achanga chicha kwese vamwe vanoabuse some they are posting things kuti it's not educative zvekutoti destroy ari kupasa wrong information to people inozotikanganisa vanhu. So handizive chichandikuza ndichoti in the next 5 years munhu ichachangangobhelievha chese chapostwa like what we already takutongobhelievha kuti any information yapostwa on social media is that ndoinenge iri true. But I'm sure zvichatibatsirawo in terms of zvimwe pane mamwe mabasa ataitadza kuita due to uchifanira kufamba ufanira kufambisa information ufanira kuenda kupost office kuti tsamba iswe kwamutare advert ufanira kunogadzirisa bhana wakomana wakwira usungirira. But now you're just doing it pavideo paskit then munhu achiseka but achito advertise achitoonerwa achitopiwa information yatinoda kuti ifambe. So in the next 5 years I'm sure zviri patwits either change tasimukawo kana kudona. Let's try kuti keep on trying, usati give up, like make sure kuti be social nevanhu because ndokunobva content yachokwadi kune ndirubva kuwari pandotaura nemunhu pamwe pacho natotora ma-ideas. Saka be munhu uyo anofarira nevanhu tikuitira vanhu at the end. Saka usavhairire vanhu. If you want to join this industry uya wakasimba uya wakasimba ndinonyepa kwinya make sure wakasimba panyama nepamweya kusimuriswa kuripo definitely. So you can just join us funga idea to action. That is good. Saka ukwanisa kuudzawo vanhu tinosvika
That was our third and final segment that featured Sax Guru. I hope you were entertained as well as inspired by his journey, where he moved from, the journey from being a musician to also a content creator. This has been iAfrica with me, your host, Rugari Mtokwani. I'll see you next week. Stay creative. iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel. The focus is on outstanding individuals doing extraordinary things on the African continent. The show presents creatives in their home nations, visiting renowned designers, musicians, architects who are leaving their mark on the young continent. Join me, your host, Rugari Mtokwani, as we take a round trip across Africa and get to be inspired, motivated, and future-oriented. iAfrica, celebrating the African story.